we want to welcome all the different groups. We have a wide range of people who are here, all to ground the drones. So I want to acknowledge all of these different groups. So if you guys can start moving in closer and turning your signs in so we can acknowledge you all. I know I saw a beekeeper here, which I think is amazing that we have beekeepers against drones. There's a few people here from the Green Party, I see. I am here from the Western New York Peace Center, so we have some people from Buffalo. Veterans for Peace. What other groups do we have here standing against drones?
Cyclists.
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 All right, let's give a hand to the cyclists. Arborists. Oh, come on, that's sweet. Give the arborists some love. All right, what other groups can we acknowledge here? Mothers Against Drones. And grandmothers.
John?
Yes. Syracuse Peace Council.
Syracuse Peace Council. So we want to start this off by inviting a representative from each one of these groups to come speak a little bit about why they're here and why their group feels that this is so important. So, okay, but first we have to listen to these guys tell us what to do.
Tell us to stay in and mind our manners.
We will, they will.
They're going to read the Constitution to us.
I wish.
Oh my God.
Good afternoon.
Captain Terry, New York Air National Guard, 174 Security Forces Squadron. You have entered and are currently on the private property of the 174th Attack Wing, Hancock Field, New York Air National Guard. Commander, 174th Attack Wing has authorized the use of this marked area as a designated assembly site, of which you are welcome to remain in so long as the terms of the Town of DeWitt issued permit are not violated and you are not otherwise in violation of any federal, state, or local law or ordinance. The Commander, 174th Attack Wing, reserves the right to rescind this authorization at any time, and further reserves the right to direct any individual at any time to vacate the privately owned property of Hancock Field Air National Guard Base. Those that fail to disperse upon direction or otherwise violate the terms of the issued permit will be subject to arrest.
Thank you.
All right, First Amendment of the Constitution according to them. Thank you.
Private property, huh?
So as I said, I'd like to invite anybody from any of these groups that wants to come up and talk about the reasons you're here and how it relates to your group.
Briefly.
Briefly.
1 minute.
Yeah, someone's gonna be
So,
1.5.
hi everybody. I came up with the Bicyclists for Peace here. And there were 6 of us. Gary, Vonnie, Jen, Andy, and where you at, Lanny? Where you at, Lanny? He's around here anyway. And we were singing some of our way up, and so we wanted to maybe lead a little bit of the song, which Vonnie's going to help us out with.
We're gonna end drone warfare right here in Syracuse. Right here in Syracuse. Right here in Syracuse. We're gonna end drone warfare right here in Syracuse. They're gonna study war no more. We ain't 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 gonna study war no more.
And I just want to say around biking, it's something that I think about my younger brother a lot when I'm biking, and especially when I'm coming along roads with traffic. And my younger brother was killed on a bicycle ride around the island. He was biking around Taiwan. This is the sort of thing that he did. He was a ultra-marathon runner. He did lots of these big sort of events, and he was going to, on his own, bike the 400 miles around the island of Taiwan. And he was hit from behind by a van and killed. And I think about that when I'm on a bike often. And coming to this today, I had a moment of thinking about that event and thinking about drone warfare and the way that it takes away lives immediately from behind, and the sort of pain that must cause. And so I think about my brother when I'm doing this work often too, and thinking about all of the other very precious lives that are taken in these moments. And that's why I'm here, and I know that that's why many of you are here, is for that, for those sorts of lives that are being taken away by folks at this base. So thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your beautiful song. Now I believe we have someone from Veterans for Peace.
Well, I guess we don't have to explain why we're here. We have a certain legitimacy, I believe,
Louder.
since
Closer.
we have a certain legitimacy since we all served in the service, and in part because of that experience, are opposed to war and the militarization of the American economy and our foreign policy and the use of drones. There's 4 of us came up from Rochester. There might be more. There's a couple from Syracuse, and we're glad to be here. Anybody who's a veteran here, we welcome you to join our ranks, and we're trying to grow as much as we can. You're both Syracuse and Rochester have basically recently revived our chapters. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much for the Veterans of Peace for being here and for the courage that you show and speaking out against war. I think next we have someone from the Green Party who will be letting us know why they're here.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. The Green Party values support people, peace, and the planet. And we know that drones kill people, they don't bring peace, and they also help destroy the planet. Unfortunately, I don't have a song for you, but I have a great candidate running for governor, Howie Hawkins, and I hope you will support him this year. Thank you.
Is there any other contingent here that wants to make a statement about the organization or why they're here? The arborists.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm from Trumansburg, New York. Are there any other certified arborists there? I know everybody's a tree lover. You don't have to be a certified arborist to love trees and understand our plight. But I have a feeling that every tree here, including the ones on the base, is against the drones.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to climb some of those trees over there, those black locusts, wonderful black locust trees. Great gift of the Creator to us all. Very rot resistant, wonderful blossoms for honey. But I'm not allowed to do that today. I would be prepared to. I'm ready. I would love to climb those trees. But I also have a sign which reflects my feeling about drones. I think it's undeniable that drones have certainly killed thousands of children, including unborn children along with their mothers. Drones are inherently anti-life. The people who operate drones here need to think seriously about what they're doing. Pray for them and pray for us all in these difficult times, and that our love will show itself in resistance to these drones continuously. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your courage.
Hi, I'm Carol Crossid from Rochester. We've got some people here from Rochester. I'm with Feminists for Nonviolent Choices, and we are a member of the Consistent Life Ethic Network, a group of about 200 organizations across the country that address the consistent life ethic. We oppose war, abortion, capital punishment, poverty, and euthanasia, as well as racism. So we're saying that all war is wrong, but particularly private war, which we feel like drones is a private war. It's trying to kill people in a very pristine, private, unpublic way, and we feel that killing of any human beings is wrong. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you.
Hi everybody, beautiful day for us. According to the wonderful Get One Syracuse cultural workers, I found that this month is dedicated to the problem of domestic violence. And so we do all we can to stop this terrible tragedy in our country. And domestic violence, the law they use is to try to stop it is...
You have to get really close to the mic.
Okay. So, I know, orders of protection. And the husband or the wife who's threatening to kill each other, they have to, by law, stay away from their other partner. And in Utica, it happened 3 years ago that this man got an order of protection and he went home and stabbed his wife to death and killed himself. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the little kid from middle school came home, and that's where he saw his parents. And so that's when you use an order of protection, and even then it ends in death. So the people here, the orders...
I'll hold this for you.
Okay,
No,
the orders...
No, I'll hold it for you. You can speak freely. Go ahead.
The orders of protection right here should apply only to the domestic violence cases, not to peace people. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace for this to be going on. And then one more minute, you turn this around, okay? The other thing we're not learning is not enough from the media. One president told us, would you rather have Congress or the newspaper? Well, we're not getting too much coverage from the media. Certain media that doesn't get into the New York Times and all of that. So you have to catch up and read about drones, and by reading books and so forth. And then it also has to do with why the jails are full of people.
I just want to add that here stands two, certainly of the older generation, and we both carry orders of protection against the commander on the base. So, what do you guys think?
Hi, I'm Ariel Gold. I'm here today with a few people from the Ithaca chapter of Jewish Voice for Peace and the Central New York Committee for Justice in Palestine. We're here today because children across the world need protection from drones and other military equipment. This past summer, we saw over 2,000 people die in Gaza. Over 500 of them were children. Many of this was from drones. The U.S. and Israel both kill children and innocent people on a regular basis from drones and other weapons of mass destruction. These children and people across the world need an order of protection for their safety. Yeah. We oppose Jewish exceptionalism and American exceptionalism that values the lives of some people, of Jews in Israel, and of Americans here, specifically white Americans, over the lives of people of color across the world, and sees those lives as dispensable. This must end.
Thank you. Hi, my name is George Payne. I'm representing Gandhi Earth Keepers International today. Frankly, I don't want to be here. I'm sick of coming to these things. I really don't want to spend my day like this. I'd rather be at home with my wife. Yeah. I'd rather be watching football today. There's a lot of other things I'd rather be doing today. But the fact of the matter is, if I don't come today, I'm breaking the law. After World War II, the Nuremberg Law was passed. Every single United States citizen has an obligation, when they know that their government is breaking the law. When international laws have been broken, we cannot remain complicit. And I'm speaking to every soldier here. If I don't show up today, I'm breaking my government's law. I'm breaking international law. Every single soldier here has an option today. We're going to have to be held accountable for this. It's not going to be this generation. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to have to stand up and you're going to ask yourself, did you know what was going on? Were you involved? The Germans buried their head in the sand. The Germans looked the other way. The Germans looked for excuses. Killing people to stop people from killing people, to show the world that killing people is wrong, is an idea that needs to die.
Thank you. Hope you're all listening.
There's someone else. You want to?
I want to remind everyone who's here that we are part of a weekend of international solidarity to end the use of armed drones in warfare. We are not a very big group today, but we are part of a larger group of people around the world who are saying no, no to armed drones, no to robotic warfare, no to killing children and grown-ups in the interest of political aims that have nothing to do with people's welfare and desire to live peaceful lives. So even though we are not very big in numbers here today, we are very much part of bigger numbers around the world. The flags you see, the attempt to have a little bit of lightness is a way not of denying the meaning of why we're here, but to talk about the solidarity of why we're here. Yeah. So please feel good about that. You are connected to decent, peace-loving people around the world.
I am only one of millions of mothers all over the world against the drones. Many years ago, Dan Berrigan said that the sin of modern people is that we make abstract what is concrete. And this happens so that we can say things we want to be able to say, like support the troops. The drones are keeping us safe. But I want to make that very, very concrete on behalf of the children. I'd like each person here, each soldier, the commander of the base, to identify a child by name and age that they are willing to sacrifice and kill. Thank you.
And now the beekeepers against drones. So unmanned aerial vehicles, because we have some bee drones too that we like to keep alive.
Hi, my name's John Hamilton, and I do want to include in this gathering our cousins, our non-human cousins, the trees, the bees, and all the rest of this beautiful earth. And I am a human speaking to you all as humans, and there's a lot of us on the planet, and we face some pretty significant challenges for our survival and for the survival of our cousins and the other beings on this planet. And we talk about international law. That's kind of a bloodless phrase that can go right over your head, kind of abstract. But what we are talking about specifically here is an agreement that has been entered into by all nations of the world that war of aggression, acts of aggression, attack specifically, are always, they have to end if we are going to continue our life together on this planet. That's what we referred to the Nuremberg Treaty, the UN Charter. That's the most important agreement that we humans have ever made with each other. And it includes every nation on the planet. And right here, we can see an utter contempt and violation of that agreement, in the words of the attack base. That in itself is a very, very dangerous precedent. And I don't know the word. It's just complete contempt for these human agreements that we have made, and they've come out of great bloodshed. We've decided that there isn't any alternative except to ban war and to ban attack. That's a promise that the United States made to the world. We're asking you and ourselves to keep these promises that we have made. These are contracts, they're agreements. That's why we're here, is to ask you all, and none of you have to obey orders. You all know that. You have to follow the Constitution and the larger laws before you obey any orders, and that goes for the cops as well as the soldiers. And what's at stake here is a lot. That's the point I want to make, and that's where I'm going to bring in the bees and the trees specifically. These agreements are important to end this kind of violence and to end the horrible deaths that we see and witness. But more than that, they're about us humans being able to make and honor agreements with each other on this planet. And I think we can all agree that that's going to become more and more important as every generation goes on. We need to strengthen our ability to make agreements with each other. And we see here a complete undermining of any ability for humans to cooperate with each other. That's what's going on right here with this attack base. And so that's why it's so important. It goes much beyond the horrible deaths that are occurring from here. It really is undermining our ability to survive on this planet. So this is serious. And yeah, that's about all I have to say.
Next we have Judy Bello from the Anti-Syrian War Intervention.
I feel like when I say I'm for no Syria intervention, I'm sort of like Friends of the Skunk in our current social propaganda regime. But I want to say that how does this connect to drones? Well, there's drones flying over Iraq and Syria right now. And the White House, who we had like backed off a little bit, so they said, well, they made a rule for themselves. We'll try not to kill civilians. And they've actually abated the drone strikes a little, have made it clear that in Syria and Iraq, it doesn't count. Because this is a war. So if we kill civilians, it's okay. Now, the rules of war are called the humanitarian law. And the first rule is don't kill civilians. So this is a big mistake. We are starting a new war. It already has involved large numbers of drones, and they're already killing people in 2 new countries, Iraq and Syria, added on to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, and wherever else. So let's really stand against this before they get rolling any faster than they're going, and do everything you can to let it be known you don't want this new war. Thank you.
We're going to keep the program moving, but I really feel moved to say something. I really appreciate all the people that came out here today, and you all know how important this is. But I know a lot of people here. I've seen most of you before, and if we really are ever going to have any effect on the way that this country works, it's not going to be talking in front of these guys, because frankly, they don't care what we think. We need to get more people involved in this process, and in community organizing, you need to appeal to people's self-interest. And the cost of drones and the cost of war is a war of itself on the poor people of this country that are being supported. They're cutting food stamps, they're cutting housing aid, The militarization of the police state is attacking the people of this country, and eventually that will involve drones. So I hope that every one of you has an honest conversation with everyone you know about the cost of our military and the cost to us, the cost to the people here. Because, you know, we believe in other people. We believe in the earth, the planet, and having peace. But there's been a context created by even some of the people that are standing within these borders that in order for us to have peace here, we must have war somewhere else. And that idea can't continue. And until we address that idea, then we're going to be standing here with the same group of people every single time, and they're going to continue to do what they do.
Just wanted to let you know that Geneseo is here in support. I'm Vicki Farmer. I'm with Genesee Valley Citizens for Peace, and we have friends who have created a new student group.
Yay! Hold the mic. I'm Lily Perry. I'm part of Peace Action Geneseo. You guys know why I'm against drones. I want all of you to know that us young people, as college students, we care about this just as much as everybody else, and we will do anything for peace.
I'm Nick Syracuse. I'm also with Peace Action Geneseo. You know, one of the definitions most commonly repeated of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And for years we have used drones and targeted assassinations to try to end terrorism, and it's just expanded the list. The kill list just keeps growing and growing. We keep using the same methods to deal with this seemingly insurmountable problem, when all we have to do is just change, just make some change to what we're doing. So stop drone bombing and stop the insanity.
And it's great to see everybody here, but a special shout out. It is very inspiring to see students do that.
The next person coming up to speak for a moment is Ellen Grady, who's been exceptionally active in Ithaca. The people from Ithaca are a cadre of incredibly dedicated and energetic people who, in addition to everything else, are making the trek up here from Ithaca on a regular basis. Ellen is going to talk to you a little bit more about the context of this gathering in a larger picture.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you. It's so great to see everybody here today. I am part of the Upstate Coalition to ground the drones and end the wars. And in case people don't know about that coalition, we are a group that's formed about 5 years ago to address the issue of the drones that are manned from Hancock Airfield. And this group consists of people from Buffalo. Yay, Buffalo for coming so far! Woo! And Rochester. Woo! Ithaca. Woo! And we also have people from Binghamton. Woo! Utica. And wait a second, Vernon. Where's Cynthia? And Albany. So we are the Upstate Coalition. Oh, of course, and Syracuse. We've been meeting and gathering and having different kinds of protests here for the past 5 years. There's a bi-weekly vigil that happens. Anybody is invited to join that. What day is it? On
Tuesday.
Tuesday at...
Check the Peace Council News website.
First and third Tuesday, please join at 4:15. But I think that what I wanted to share is I asked these guys to come up, the kids, to hold this this sign, because and my another daughter of mine came up to me. She said, "Mom, what does that sign mean?" And I'm just going to read it out loud. There shall be no more improper touching of the children of the world or their families with your hellfire missiles and your 500-pound bombs. So for not know, a couple of the colonels at the base here have taken out orders of protection against over 50 of us for our nonviolent civil resistance that we have done here at the base. They want us to go away. They don't want us here. And one of the tactics is to take out an order of protection against us. They need to be protected from us. They don't want the truth to be in their driveway. They don't want the truth to be at this base. Right. And so we decided after a little reflection, actually it didn't take a lot of reflection, to say who needs these orders of protection. And really it's the children. It's the children that need the orders of protection, and so we will continue to bring their voices and to bring their pictures here to the base. And so that's just one thing that I wanted to say. Do you want to read it? Of course, I didn't bring my glasses. Okay. So I would read you the orders of protection, but maybe Ray could do that. But the other thing that I wanted to say is, so because of our nonviolent resistance here at the base, we've been at the courts. We've been brought to the courts. And I know that Mark Colville is here today and he's going to share, but I just wanted to say that I want to encourage people to come to the trials, to support the people who are on trial. And the dates keep sort of moving around, so check our website for the dates so that we can keep things updated. Huh?
Upstate Drone Action.
And our website is the upstatedroneaction.org. And it's really good to have support there at the courtroom, and we also get to have we get to learn who has what the powers that be get to do with the law and how they twist it and how they protect these weapons and this base and these colonels who have the largest military behind them against us. Anyway, so the only other thing that I wanted to share is the Upstate Coalition. We are a very, very, very grassroots organization, and it's we're very humbly trying to do some of this work, and we need a lot more help, and we would love more help. And so we have some organizational meetings coming up soon. If anybody has extra energy, we'd love for that energy to be part of what we're doing. And because there's so much more work to do and there's just so few of us. And so it'd be great to have that energy as part of what we're doing. So get in touch with me or any of us up here at the front. Thank you very much. I think that's all I'm going to say.
I think it's timely now, and I will read the order of protection. This is the People's Order of Protection for the children of Afghanistan and their families. To President Obama, the United States military, Colonel Greg Semmel, Colonel Earl Evans, the 174th Attack Wing of the Air National Guard. Whereas good cause has been shown for the issuance of this order of protection, the people of all nations committed to peace, having overwhelmingly made a determination in accordance with both the spirit of and the letter of the United States Charter, do hereby order that the above named, and more specifically their Hellfire missiles and 500-pound bombs fired from the MQ-9 Reaper drones operated at Hancock Airfield, home of the 174th Attack Wing of the New York State Air National Guard, are to stay away from the children of Afghanistan and their families, and their homes, their schools, their places of play, and their places of work. That is, the forests where they gather wood, the fields where they tend their vegetables and flocks. And further, the above named shall refrain from assault, stalking, harassment, menacing, bombing, killing, maiming, and terrorizing, criminal obstruction of breathing or circulation, disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, forcible touching, intimidation, threats, or any criminal offense or interference with the victims of the alleged offenses perpetrated by the offenders named in this order. There shall be no more improper touching of the children of Afghanistan or their families with your Hellfire missiles and your 500-pound bombs. There shall be no more menacing and reckless endangerment of the children and their families. It is further ordered that this order of protection shall remain in force forever. Failure to comply with this order will result in the people's continued nonviolent resistance to this illegal and immoral behavior. Order personally served at the gates of Hancock Air Base, site of which war crimes are being committed. Some of the language in this order sounds very stilted. Much of this language was taken word for word from the orders of protection that have been placed against us. It is clear for the people who have such orders, we don't know where the colonel lives. We don't know where he shops and where he prays and where he bowls and where he hangs out on the weekend. What we know is where he works. And so it's clear that the intention of this order is to keep us away from where he works, which is here. When pushed, the judges respond when asked, why is this order justified? What are your reasons? Right. What is the threat and intimidation and fear that we inspire in this colonel that he needs such an order? Right. The same colonel who on the stand says that we are polite and courteous and he's not afraid of us. It is clear that such an order was issued and approved and repeatedly approved by the judges of the town of DeWitt because we are a nuisance. We are interfering. We are getting in the way. We only wish that we could be more of a nuisance and more of an interference and more getting in the way. I would like to ask Mark Colville, who lives in New Haven, Connecticut, so the trip he makes to come here is really substantial, to speak a little bit about his recent experience here and with the courts of the town of DeWitt.
Thanks. I would travel a lot further to be with such good people, so thank you for having me. Thank you for all the powerful statements that have been made thus far. And there's one face that I don't see here, and I want to mention Jack Gilroy. Okay, and not only that, one of the things, my experience in court over the years is one of the naughty things that we get accused of is conspiracy. And many people here know what the literal meaning of that word is, conspiracy. What does that mean?
Breathe together.
To breathe together. And so it'd be good if we could just take a moment here, and everybody, if you're willing, just let's take a deep breath and send our heart wishes to Jack Gilroy and be in conspiracy with him at this moment as he sits in jail alone. Okay, so let's do that for Jack, okay?
Yes.
Deep breath. Bless you, Jack. And thank you, Jack, for your courage and your conscience and your love of humanity and your love of all these people here, both outside and inside the fence. And yeah, I could take an hour to tell you about this bizarro world I was in a couple weeks ago called the Onondaga County Court. But there are too many stories to really capture the whole thing. So to echo what Ellen said, come to the court if you can, because what you're going to see if you do is you're going to see another arm of the Pentagon. You know, Judge Jokel and Judge Gideon, they have identified themselves. They've disgraced their profession and they've disgraced this community by their actions and their conduct in that court. They've turned it into a kangaroo court. And as has been mentioned, these orders of protection, which are a very cynical manipulation of the law, they're getting away with this. They're trying to keep what goes on over there a secret. the true scene of the crime. And as Ellen's sister Claire mentioned a couple of weeks ago, she said that the closer you get to the scene of the crime, the more you are risking arrest. The closer you get to the scene of the crime, the more you are risking arrest. And I've taken example from this coalition here and this gathering and how they've come together, and I've been encouraged to cross the line a couple of times. Actually, for this last time that I'm facing maybe 2 years in jail, I didn't even cross the line. I went over there. We brought the order of protection, and we also brought a personal written plea from a man named Raz Muhammad, who some in this gathering know and have shared meals with in Afghanistan. And members of his family and his community were slaughtered by a drone strike back in 2008, I think it was. And anyway, Raz had written a personal plea to the commander of this base and to the president and to the local courts here to stop the drone attacks. So I thought it was appropriate, particularly because I was under an order of protection. I thought it was particularly appropriate just before Christmas last year to come up to this base and walk up there with a poinsettia and a dozen roses and the orders of protection, both the one for the people, the children of Afghanistan, and the one that Raz himself had written. And we simply wanted to deliver it to Colonel Evans. We were refused to our request to see him, and then we simply asked if we could leave this, we could have this, these orders of protection and this plea received. And they refused. They wouldn't even address us. And so we stood there waiting for an answer until we were eventually arrested after about an hour. Now, I'll give one quick story, and this happened before the trial, and that was in the judge's chambers, in Judge Jokel's chambers. Okay, I'm sitting there with the prosecutor, and the first thing Judge Jokel did was he decided to become a prosecutor. He said, if you plead guilty, we'll give you a conditional discharge. Otherwise, I'm going to sentence you to the maximum. Now, this is before a jury was selected. He doesn't know who I am, never looked at my criminal record, never did a pre-sentencing investigation, but he had decided that I deserved that I was going to get the maximum sentence. And by the way, I was given 5 separate charges for walking to that gate orderly and peacefully and trying to deliver this order. Okay, so I said, well, what do you mean you're going to give me the maximum? He said, I'm going to give you the maximum. I said, well, what is that? He said, well, I don't know, go look it up. And I said, well, I know what the charges are and what they carry, but are you telling me you're going to sentence me consecutively, like instead of all at once? And he said, to the extent that I can, yes, I will. And I said, why? And he said, because I think you deserve it. So I said, are we being recorded here? Is this part of the court record? He said, oh yeah, it is. Wow. And there was a computer on his desk, and it's, apparently, I guess if we pay thousands of dollars for the transcript, we can find this. And that was just one example of the utter partiality and bias that this court showed. And the other part that I got to mention was that they actually put Judge Gideon, the prosecutor, put Judge Gideon on the stand, okay, because he was the one who had issued this order of protection against me. Okay, so I got to cross-examine him, right? And by the way, we know the order of protection has already been overturned. The very one that I was charged under was overturned by an appeals court. It was found to be invalid, okay? And I'm still facing a year for violating that. So anyway, I asked, the part of the reason that the order of protection is invalid is because it says that you must stay away from Colonel Evans's home and place of work, etc. But it doesn't say what stay away means. And it doesn't say, any distance or anything. By the way, I don't even know if he works here. I know he's the commander of this base, but does he work a half a mile that way? So I'm questioning the Judge Gideon, and I said, let's suppose I left New Haven and crossed the state line into New York. Would I be violating the order? He says no. I said, okay, so if I came to Syracuse and went down, say, to the Dinosaur Barbecue and had lunch, would I be violating the order then? He said, well, maybe if Judge Gideon was there.
No, if the colonel was there.
The colonel was there, yeah. So, and then I said, okay, so let's say I'm at a coffee shop just down the block on East Malloy Road. And then the Judge Jokel interrupts, and he says, you're harassing the witness. You're harassing. And I said, well, I'm just trying to figure out what does stay away mean. I mean, there's a lot of people under these orders of protection, and nobody really knows. I mean, it seems to me that they could be arrested for being anywhere. But I was shut down, and Judge Jokel said I was harassing the witness, so I may not ask him any more of those questions. And it kind of went downhill from there. So anyway, I'm being sentenced on December 3rd. There are trials going on, as I understand it, every month, right?
Not this month.
Not this month, okay. Anyway, I just would ask you again to conspire with all of us who are facing down these intimidation tactics and facing the courts here. It's very, very important to bring the truth into these courts. And a guilty or not guilty verdict is not, it doesn't, that's not why we go to court. We go to court to tell the truth. And I'm proud that I've been found guilty, and I say I've been found worthy, okay? I'm found worthy of 5 charges for trying to bring peace to this place. And I hope you all will support those who are going through the trials as we go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving us another way to highlight the absurdity of the American criminal injustice system.
Drones! 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 Down! 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 Russell? Yeah. Please stay down. We are trying in a very small way to give some sensation of the power of the horror above and how it comes out of nowhere. So we are pretending to die in sympathy with the awfulness of never knowing. I ask you to listen while you're laying down to some words.
I don't think this is working. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't. So glad.
I am the limbs of the children killed by the drone, gathered from the broken trees, a sad, frightening fruit, an alien among its own, hands that once clapped, faces that laughed, legs that have forgotten their dances. Now too common in Yemen and Pakistan, the limbs are scattered across the land. Somalia, the Philippines, and Afghanistan. Toes without feet, removed from their resting places, not rubble in the rubble, among the broken homes, missing children, missing spouses, scattered limbs and shattered homes, rocks and sticks and fingers, an eye that stares at you but cannot see. All is breathless at the sight. Pieces of children, a very quiet ear, all alone in the night. A finger that can do nothing but be the missing finger of a tiny child that Michelle will never meet as she sleeps beside the severer.
In the spirit of hating the sin and not the sinner, to open our hearts to the powerlessness of the people that work on this base, and know that they too are fathers and mothers. And we can only hope that someplace in the privacy of their own homes, they're asking the same questions that we are. Many people have been arrested here. You don't have to be arrested to add your voice and your body to the presence of saying no. Once again, I invite you to join us first and third Tuesday, to join us in our meetings, to join us in court. Know that your presence, your love is highly valued and useful. The little bits, without question, add up. Once again, remember that we are part of an international weekend of solidarity with people around the world who are saying yes to peace, yes to love, yes to children, no to the brainless money-making warfare of governments around the world. Let us affirm our love, affirm our passion for peace and for justice. Thank you, travel safely, and we'll see you soon. Oh, we're gonna sing one more song.
As you get ready to leave.
Should be in your song sheet.
Vicki, you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Man wanted to say something.
Okay, enough. I think we're okay. Okay. Can you put this? All right, the song,
When we make peace
When we make peace, it should be on the song sheet.
Here we go. Energetic.
When we make peace instead of war.